This week, as part of our Summer Unmasked series, we're speaking with top executives across a number of industries to discuss how their companies are preparing for the economy to reopen. Today, we're joined by Danny Meyer, CEO of Union Square Hospitality Group. He was also recently appointed chairman of the Economic Development Corporation of New York City. Welcome back to the show, Danny. Good to see you.
It's great to be here, and since you're calling this unmasked, I'm going to get my vaccination and do what they say and take off my mask.
Very
it's
good.
Good to see you.
Take your point. So what's going on with your business? How far along are you to getting all the restaurants opened and having them come back as far as the business and the diners?
We're about halfway there right now, which is a great point. So, in fact, the only ones that are not open right now are restaurants that happen to be in larger type of situations like art museums, a couple of hotels, a big skyscraper that are taking a little bit longer. But all the other ones are back right now, and there is absolutely no shortage of demand for New Yorkers to go out. The vaccination has been probably the greatest thing that's ever happened for our industry, both for the people who work for us and, of course, for our guests.
It is amazing to see, especially since we've gotten such good weather here in New York. Danny, but what about shortages among workers? How has it been trying to bring back all of those workers that you had to lay off at a very fast speed here as demand ramps up?
Yeah, nobody can hire back all of their workers, even if they wanted to, because many of our workers left the city. They left the city by edict when there was quarantine and or they couldn't afford to live in the city without a means by which to pay the rent. And then there's this whole other thing, which is that everybody's hiring at the exact same time. And so it's going to take, in my judgment, at least 2 or 3 months for supply and demand to kind of keep up with each other and to hit an equilibrium. But I do think there's going to be some really good drivers. The one thing that's helping us right now in a bizarre way is that since office buildings are still nowhere nearly occupied to the critical mass that they were and that they one day will be again, that means that lunch business is pretty much off the table. So when you're staffing a restaurant, the good news, if you can call it good news, is that you're only staffing primarily for one of the 2 shifts. Now, on the other side of the coin, one of the positive outcomes of the period of time during which we had COVID was that in our city and in many cities around the United States, outdoor dining has become a permanent part of the landscape. That's fantastic for city life. It's fantastic for public safety. It's fun. And it's also great because it means that there are more seats in a restaurant. So the other thing that I'm really looking forward to is that when Broadway comes back to New York City and the theaters and the concerts and all of the kind of public opportunities for artists to come together, that's also an amazing pool of restaurant workers. And when those people have a real reason to come back to New York City, it's also going to be a great boon for the population of restaurant talent.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.